Everyone, and welcome back to Pennies to Pounds TV. If you are new here, then welcome. You are in the most amazing place, and this is where we learn about all things personal finance. So if you're looking to learn more about money, understand how to manage your money better, so you're in the right place. If you've been here before, then thank you for coming back. This is going to be a great video. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. As you can see, the topic of this video is going to be 20 things that I wish I knew about money in my 20s. Money is something that we don't get taught in school, and we really should do. Money is part of everything that we do, whether it's you getting your first job, trying to get your first car, your first phone contract, your first house, whatever it may be. Money is at the center of everything that we do. So it's only right that we understand and have a good manage and handle on our money. So let's get into it. Number one, start saving from early. So this is something that I did relatively early, but if you've seen anything about my journey, which I've got some videos on this channel, then you'll know that I had my first ever business from 9 years old. Yes, 9 years old. I will do another video on that. But I didn't start saving any money until I was 16, 17 when I got my first ever job. And although that is still early enough, I wish I started saving earlier, because the earlier you start saving, the more money you can have in your pot and the more you get used to the habit of saving. Now that's going to be crucial for you as you get older. Understanding how to save, because some people I've spoken to say, you know what, when I earn 20k, 30k, 40k, 50k, basically when my income increases, then I'll be able to save, or then I'll be able to save more. And it's not about that. It's really not about how much you earn. It's just getting into that habit of saving. So starting from early helps you to get used to it and be comfortable enough with putting money aside for a rainy day, for an emergency, whatever it may be, for a goal, for a holiday, whatever it is you're saving for, it gets you used to doing that from early. Number two, don't fall into lifestyle inflation. Now this is something that we see all the time. So lifestyle inflation is essentially when you go for a job, right? So let's say I have my first job straight out of uni and I'm on 22k, right? Great. Then after a year or two, I get promotion or I move jobs, and now I've gone from £22,000 to £28,000, right? That's a £6,000 leap in my income. So quite often what we see is at £22,000, I'm spending a certain amount. Now I'm earning £6,000 more. I've now increased how much I spend. Not because anything else has changed. My bills have stayed the same amount, but because I want to actually do more. And that's what happens. We see that happen all the time, and people increase their income and start to get more money. They start to increase how much they spend. Now do not do this. Try your best to live within your means and stick to the same amount that you've been spending. And that will help you to have the extra cash right there from your income that you can use towards anything. Naturally, you earn a little bit more money, you start to spend a little bit more, but you don't want to do it proportional to how much your salary increase is. Number three, and a big one for me, is personal finance is just that. Personal finance is personal. So whatever your friends are doing, your family are doing, your loved ones are doing when it comes to money, doesn't mean it's going to be right for you. You need to figure out what is good for you. So if your friends are saving £1,000 a month, but you can't afford to do that, you shouldn't feel bad. You need to tailor everything that you do when it comes to your money to you. Focus on your financial situation, focus on where you want to go with your money, and be able to set a goal and set a plan around that. Number four, another big one, is look after your credit score from young. I have spoken to loads of people when I was in my teens. There were a lot of my friends from university who perhaps thought, you know what, credit scores, I'll think about that later. I'll think about it later on. It's not important now. But credit scores are super important, even from getting your first phone contract, right? Credit scores are crucial. And if you're someone who at some point wants to get something or the other, whether it's you want to get a car on finance, you want to get your first property, anything like that, you're going to need to have a good credit score. So it's really important to take stock of your credit score from young. Know where your credit score's at. If you haven't checked your credit score before, we've got a video on credit scores, which I will link just above here so you can have a look. But it's good to get used to looking at it, see where you can improve, and making those starts from early. Number five is that credit isn't free money. It can feel tempting, especially when you're at university. But just remember, if you do take any kind of money from the bank, whether it's an overdraft, whether it's a loan, whether it's a credit card, it is not free money. It must be paid back. So anything that you borrow in whichever means that I just mentioned, you need to make sure that you've got a plan on repaying that money back. That is super, super crucial. That can affect you negatively in the long run. Number six is budget, budget, budget. I will link as well down below in the description a budget spreadsheet that we've got. But it's so important to budget your money. You need to know how much money you've got coming in and where you want to put that money. Different ways that you can budget. We'll do a video on that coming soon, so make sure you subscribe to see that. But it's super important to know exactly where your money's going. And I help you to plan when it comes comes to your finances in the future. Number 7 is to start contributing into your pension from early. Now, when I say the word pension, you often equate that to old age, and you'll be right. That's when you go to draw your pension when you're older. But you're not gonna have any money in your pension to live the high life in your 60s and 70s and beyond if you don't start contributing from early. Now, you'll be auto-enrolled into your workplace pension if you're working from 22 years old and once you're earning more than £10,000 per year. So it's super important to start making those small contributions from early, and as you get older and your income increases, you start to increase those contributions alongside that. It's super important to start contributing from early. Number 8, and a big one I see this generation now, is stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. That essentially means stop trying to impress people. Don't try to impress people. I've spoken to people who have flashy cars, they buy the BMWs, the Mercedes, they have the flashy watches, go to amazing restaurants, all so they can impress people, and often trying to keep up with the standards of people that we see online. When you're seeing influencers online or you're seeing your favorite celebrities spending a certain amount of money, it's one of two things, right? A, they've got that kind of money to spend, which perhaps you don't. Or B, even they don't actually have the money that they're portraying and acting like they do have. Maybe they're using finance. You have no idea people's financial situations. So you please stop trying to keep up with people who aren't in your financial lane. It's really about you. Who really cares at the end of the day what kind of car you've got, what kind of phone you have, how many holidays you go on per year? No one really cares. So don't worry about spending your money trying to impress people. It's not worth it in the long run. Number 9 is always try and negotiate your bills. Wherever possible, hop on the phone and talk to someone and negotiate your bills. Do you know how much money I've saved with car insurance? When I'm looking at quotes online, instead of taking a quote online, I call them up and say, hello, this is how much I really want to try and pay. Maybe it's about £100 or £200 less than what I've seen online. And quite often, if you talk to them, you can get a good deal. I do it all the time with phone contracts, any kind of bills that I've got. Hop on the phone and negotiate. Promise you, you will not regret it. Not all of them will give you discounts and, money off, but it's worth giving it a go. Hop on the phone, talk to someone and negotiate when it comes to your bills. Number 10, if you are falling behind on payments, address it and do not ignore it. This is a big one. If you have any kind of credit out, whether it's credit cards, loans, anything that needs to be repaid back, do not just ignore it if you feel like you're not going to make the next payment, or you feel like you just can't keep up with the amount of payments that are coming in. Ignoring it will only make the problem worse. Companies don't know if you're struggling if you don't tell them. You need to let them know. They'll go through and help you out by putting together a payment plan. They will try to assess your finances and figure out what they can do. Can they consolidate your debt? What does that look like? But they don't know unless you tell them. I also link below some organizations that can help you if you are struggling with debt, but it's super, super important. Please do not stay silent. Please let people know that you're struggling. Number 11, have honest and open conversations with friends and family about money and salary. This is a big one. Money is often taboo in this generation, right? Not even just generation, just in general. Money is a taboo topic. And if we do talk about money, it's always when we're doing well. I'm making more money, I've just bought this. You want to talk about the good stuff. We don't always talk about the not so good stuff, so not so glamorous stuff. It's super important to start from now fostering those good conversations with your friends and families. Just talking about money. What are your goals? What are you looking to save for? How are you doing with everything? Your job, you got a pay rise. What does that look like? If you're in the same field, especially, have the conversation around salary. You will have no idea if you're earning the right amount if you don't have those conversations. How will you know? Your colleague, your friend who's working with you may be earning £10,000 more than you, and you have no idea. Why? Because you're shy and scared to have those conversations. So start from now, fostering and having those open and honest conversations with your friends and family around money, and you will not regret it. Number 12, there is no shame in shopping in the sale section. When I go to a shop, the first place I'm going is where that red sign is for the sale section. I have found some of my most staple pieces from the sale section. Sale doesn't mean bad. Sale just means end of the line. It just means that they're not going to renew that style. That's all it means. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the products, so don't feel as though you must buy everything full price. I look at the sale first and then come to the normal section, because you can find some absolute gems in the sale section. So don't let anyone make you feel bad for shopping and getting your discount. Number 13, and another big one, is to learn about investing. And then once you understand how to invest, is to allocate a percentage of your money every month, as much as you can, towards investing. Now, this is crucial. We talk about wanting to make more money. We talk about passive income. We talk about generational wealth. Now, a lot of that comes from making investments. That is investing into stocks and shares. That is putting money into investment ISAs. That is investing in property. All those things are valid investment products and places to put your money for long-term wealth. So it's really good from now to understand how investment works. Get in there early. The more money you can put in from early, the more when you're older and later on down the line and you've got kids and you've got a husband or wife or a partner and you want to have that base of wealth, you will have started from young and you've got that built up ready for there. Number 14 is to pick up a side hustle. I feel like the pandemic has taught us all, even in the most stable of jobs, you never know what's gonna come. None of us saw that coming. None of us saw how we still recovering from the effects of the COVID pandemic. So it's super important to make sure that you've got other streams of income to help you out. There's a saying from one of my favorite financial influencers, Emmanuel Succo, where he says, really and truly, if you're working 9 to 5, you only have 12 paydays per year. And there's 365 days in a year. Can you imagine that? Only 12. Why would you want that? You want more. So the way to do that is to pick up a side hustle. Now, when I'm saying that, you don't have to start a whole business. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone needs to be an entrepreneur. And I think that's a big one as well. You can start small. Do surveys online. Go to focus groups where they pay you. Start dog walking. Whatever it is. It doesn't have to be anything massive, but just try and figure out a few streams of income, 1 or 2 side hustles that maybe you can do that won't take up too much of your time, but can help to add a couple of hundred extra pounds into your pocket every single month. That will help you to build up your income. Number 15, and a big one I want to emphasize here, is do not feel pressured to become a homeowner. There's a lot of talk online. We see all the time people holding their keys, and it's amazing. Everyone who gets in a property ladder, regardless of their age, it's an amazing achievement. But please do not feel pressure. The average age of homeowners in the UK, first-time home buyers, is 33 years old. So even though we are seeing 20-year-olds buying their first house, it's amazing. 25-year-olds, incredible, but do not feel pressure. And if you decided, you know what, it's not really something I'm interested in, then that's absolutely fine. You please do what's best for you. If you want to get a house, then get it in your own time, but don't feel pressure to get it, because whenever you get it, even if you're 50 and you get your first house, it's still an achievement. The age doesn't change the achievement. Number 16 is research all of the government schemes that are available to you. The government have a lot of schemes that are there, and quite often they don't promote them. And it's down to you. If you want help with something, or you feel like, what else is out there? You need to have a look and research. We will be doing another video compiling all of the schemes in one place for you as well, but it's really important for you to go out there and have a look. They've got schemes for first-time home buyers. They've got schemes for people who want to upskill and get some knowledge under their belt. They've got schemes for people who want to save. There are so many schemes out there, so it's down to you to have a look and research. Make the government website your best friend. Be on there all the time and see what the government offers. Number 17 is to adopt a long-term mindset when it comes to your money. This is super duper important. On social media, you'll see a lot of talk of people who want to just day trade and make money overnight. And some people do that, but that is not the reality for most normal people. You need to start thinking longer term when it comes to your money. Now, long term means within the next 5 to 10 years, where do you want to be with your money? If you're investing today, ideally, you're not looking to take that money out for the next 5 to 10 years. You shouldn't be thinking, I'm going to invest today, and at the end of the month, I'm going to pull out the money and I'm going to be a millionaire. It's just not going to happen. So the moment you change from being short term and thinking, you know, short-sighted with your money, like, okay, cool, I'm going to put money in today and I'm going to be a millionaire in 2 months' time. That's not going to happen. Change it to long-term. What does that look like in 10 years' time? If I want to be earning 6 figures, what do I need to be doing now with my money? Where do I need to invest? What extra income should I start to pick up to get myself to the goal that I want to be at in 10 years' time? Number 18 is to upskill wherever possible. Now, this is super important. Whether you're looking to start a side hustle, whether you're looking to get promotion within your work at your 9 to 5, whatever it is, upskill wherever possible. And we are living in the age of the internet, which is amazing. We have places like YouTube where you're right here learning about personal finance, but you can learn a whole host of skills online for free or basically very cheap. And it's super accessible for everyone. So wherever you want to get into, where before you might have had to go to university or enroll in some sort of major course which might be super expensive, those barriers have all been removed, and this is the best time to learn anything. Video editing, copywriting, voiceovering, whatever you want to learn, you can do it at a touch of your fingertips. So please, wherever you can, try your best to upskill, because this will help you to increase your salary and your income as you keep going on along the years. Number 19 is to make use of cashback sites. Again, you have another video talking about cashback, but cashback is my favorite. If you've been following us on Instagram or on TikTok, you'll know that I talk about cashback all the time, because it's a way of making money while spending money online. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy that is, that you can do that? It's mental. So make sure that you make use of that when you're shopping online. Super important. If you're in the UK, my favorite cashback sites to make use of are Quidco and Top Cashback. And I've also done a TikTok video showing how much money I've made over the last 2 to 3 years from cashback. And this is just money for me. Money I've just taken out, put into my PayPal account, and I've been able to use on whatever I want. It's a no-brainer. If you're like me and you love to shop online, then why would you not use cashback? Make sure you're doing it. This is your sign to make use of cashback sites. And finally, the one I want to leave it off on is credit is not the devil. Learn to use it to your advantage. Now, credit is something, if you have family members or friends, often who have had negative situations with credit, you would have heard from your family members or your friends or your parents who will tell you, don't get credit cards. They're terrible. Don't get an overdraft, it's really bad. Don't take out any loans, only spend cash. And it's often attached to negative experiences that they've had themselves growing up or within their lives when it comes to credit. Now, I want to just put it out there now, credit is not bad. There are no financial products that are bad. It is often the misuse of the financial products like credit that makes people think that they're bad. So if you have a credit card, and you say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this and I'm going to build up my credit score, and I'm going to use it by putting, for example, my petrol on my credit card. And every month I'm going to pay it off in full. That's great. If you say, you know what? I've got a credit card, it's 0% interest, and I don't know, I want to buy a brand new TV, but I don't really want to spend, the TV's worth £2,000. I don't want to spend £2,000 in one go. Instead, I'm going to spread it out over 6 months. These are all useful ways to use credit. Use it to your advantage. You can now spread out your payments. You feel less financial pressure. You still get to get the products that you want. It's a no-brainer. Or even if you go on holiday, you have extra protection on your purchases. You have extra protection when you book holidays, extra protection when you buy any item. And it's super important to understand how credit works and how you can use it to your advantage and how not to make mistakes with credit. That's often where people go wrong from early. That's often where people tend to have a bad credit score from young because they don't understand credit facilities. Even things like buy now, pay later. Also credit facilities. If you're using any kind of buy now, pay later service, that's credit. But it's so important to understand how they work and how they can affect you both positively and negatively depending on how you use them. Well, there you have it. Those are my 20 things that I wish I knew about money in my 20s. If you like this, then please do give it a thumbs up. Please do like, comment, subscribe. We have plenty more where that came from. Weekly videos are coming now. Also, check out our podcast. If you didn't know we have a podcast, we have a podcast. Every single week, we have a new episode on some sort of personal finance topic, trying to make it interesting and exciting for you with amazing guests. Follow us everywhere so you don't miss out on anything, and you can just up your financial literacy, up your knowledge, and be ahead of the game. Be ahead of all your friends. Just know everything. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll be back again very soon, so make sure you subscribe to not miss out. Bye.